Okay, guys. It's a. Are you trying to do the
No,
Star Wars
just
theme? Is that
no.
what
I
you're
was
doing?
trying
Chance?
to imitate our theme song, but I don't have a digital synthesizer in my throat, so it's just ignore me. Ignore
You
me.
tried. The guy that you heard trying to do Star Wars or our theme song or whatever stupid thing he was doing, that's
Hi.
Chance Oliver. I'm Jake Williams, and of course we're joined by John Sparks. Or you only know him as Sparks. I prefer to call him one
Johnny
Sparky
boy.
boy. But he's not a
I know
fan
he's
of that.
not.
Star Wars celebrations happening in Chicago. I think it ended today,
Mhm.
but as we're recording this, April 14th. But some crazy stuff came out of Star Wars Celebration. I think we'll briefly talk about Episode 9 and kind of that. But I think the biggest news relating to this show, EA finally releases a trailer for Jedi or Star Wars Fallen Jedi Order.
God, get the name right.
What are we thinking, guys? Are we excited?
Woo! As I max out the levels on my
Meh.
man, you can just shit on anyone's excitement. I'm
I know. Why are you the way you
I'm
are?
excited.
Sparks, you're Chance and I are really hype, and we'll talk about that. But I want to know why you're not as excited as we are.
Frankly, I'm just not a big Star Wars guy.
Well, that's certainly anticlimactic.
Did you watch the trailer?
Yes.
What did you take from it?
Meh.
You're giving me nothing to work with here, man.
Didn't like the setting,
What?
the stove.
I haven't watched any of the new movies except for Rogue One.
Well, I think based on what I've seen and the speculate, I think this is really what it is. It takes place between episode 3 and 4, and you're on the run after Order 66. To me, that's exciting. I think that's a really cool idea for a video game. I think that's a really fun premise. You're on the run. I don't know how many different places you're gonna go to, different planets, things like that. But I still think that's pretty rad.
Well, there's no mistaking it's a Respawn game.
Mm-hmm.
And that does surprise me because Respawn is known for their multiplayer. I haven't really played Titanfall 2 single player, but people really liked that. But these are the Call of Duty guys that came over after Modern Warfare 2, so they know how to make a good story. They did it with the first Modern Warfare, and Modern Warfare 2 was fun. But they're most
No, what I'm referring to is you watch the main character run on the side of a wall.
oh yeah,
The wall
it's
running.
distinctly a Respawn thing.
It's a Respawn game.
Hey, man, that mechanic's fun, so you gotta put it in somewhere.
I understand how people could be a little worried because they are a very multiplayer focused studio, and their multiplayer has always been really good. I think that's the most important thing to come out of this. From EA themselves said, no multiplayer, single player only, no microtransactions. It's coming November 15th. We'll see if they hit that date. I don't know how that's gonna happen with Apex Legends and how big Respawn is and how much of their team was working on that while working on Apex. I don't know, but either way, I'm pretty stoked.
See, I'd be more stoked if
Guys,
this were BioWare telling us we had a new KOTOR.
Yeah, not really. BioWare is not the same BioWare.
And that's where I'm at right now.
I was gonna say, BioWare's come to a careening halt in the last few iterations of their games.
Yeah. The BioWare that everybody loves, the KOTOR BioWare, is dead. That team is long dead. This is EA's BioWare, and I don't know if you guys read that piece by Jason Schreier on Kotaku about the development of Anthem, but I am more excited about Respawn because I think Respawn has a lot more I don't know why. I don't know if this is true, but it just feels like they have more creative freedom at Respawn versus BioWare. And I think EA is going to let them do whatever they want, which is a good sign because EA doesn't know what they're doing anymore. I think this is.
EA barely knows what they're doing with sports games.
Hey, it makes some money, so whatever they want to do, make some money. We all agree that Madden should be a games of service. We all agree with that. But I think I could be wrong, but because I remember what's her name? Is it Amy Hennig? She was the lead writer on Uncharted. She left work on this Star Wars game, and then they canceled it. No. Because there was a Visceral Games Star Wars game that was canceled. I'm wondering if any of this is related to her game.
It's possible. I don't know. They've got a lot of floating pieces around when, Disney came in and like, yeah, this is all ours now. Get out.
Pretty much.
Well, and doesn't this feature the director from God of War 3?
Yes.
Stig. I'd have to Google his name. I know who you're referring to, though. It'd be more impressive if they got Cory Barlog to do it. Who did
Shut up.
I'm sorry. It's a great game. Don't hate me because it's a great game.
Well, didn't Microsoft steal
It'd be
him
more
away?
impressive if you were CD Projekt Red.
Well, CD's busy with Cyberpunk.
Yes, they are. I get that.
Stig Asmussen is the guy who directed God of War 3.
I had a few thoughts, if I may.
Yes, Chance. Tell me all of your thoughts.
Okay, well, first things first, before this podcast was delayed due to the goddamn working man and capitalism and money, the trailer hadn't been out yet, and we were just under the presumption of between episode 3 and 4, Padawan on the run from the Empire. And so my thought immediately jumped to Kanan, who was he is the mentor of the character from Star Wars Rebels. And that description is pretty much verbatim his backstory too. So I thought maybe if they wanted to make their new Star Wars universe more connected through and through, it would be Kanan. But it's not Kanan, and I'm actually kind of happy it's not. I don't know. I think it would have made the universe a little smaller, and I never like it when they make big, huge universes like Star Wars smaller. And I'm excited. Like Spark said, the wall running. I'm sure that'll be fun, like it always is. The story where he gets caught looks interesting, and also the villain is supposed to be, I think, the Seventh Sister, who is a Sith Inquisitor, who was featured in I want to say season 3 or 2 of Rebels. Anyway, I think it looks great. I can't wait. So, fuck the haters.
So Sparks, fuck Sparks.
Well, not fuck Sparks. He got me a job, so I'm not gonna, spit on him or anything.
I'm wondering how. I saw some criticism on Twitter, and I can understand it a little bit, but I think it's just people being mad. There was somebody that tweeted, "This is a universe full of different races and aliens, and we're just some generic white dude." I'm wondering. Now, here's the thing. I'm wondering if you can customize your character. I wonder if there is that ability, because I do kind of agree with it. I think that the character just looks bland and there's nothing going on. I would love the idea that you could do different races and different things like that. We don't even know if what exactly this game is. We just know it's a single player focused game with no microtransactions.
So to your point, I remember reading somewhere that the character in this game is modeled off of one of the actors from Shameless. So I have my sincere doubts that this is anything but your character.
That's fine. I can live with that. And if it is something like you said, where it is Maybe it is somebody that it is an actual actor that they just use their likeness. Might be the case.
Well, I think they use their likeness because he is the character.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. That we.
Well, I mean, like in The Force Unleashed, which is kind of a similar premise to this game, Sam Witwer, who voices him, and the character model are almost exactly the same.
Yeah, they pretty much use his likeness. Yeah. I don't know. I would have preferred a customizable character thing, but that would just. I think they're trying to steer clear of the idea of that this is an RPG or something like that. Maybe it is. I think it's, by the looks of it, I think it's just a straightforward action game. I don't think it's going to be an open world RPG branching quests and these things. I think it's going to be a very linear, straightforward, focused experience, which I'm totally all for. I love action games. So if that's the case, I'm into it.
To wit, you can have open world and RPG one without the other. That's not a problem.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So it's not necessarily that much. I mean, you can still progress your skills. It's just this is your character model. Geralt of Rivera doesn't change his look, but it's still an open world game.
Did you say Geralt of Rivera?
Yes.
Oh my god! I think it's Rivia, not Rivera.
Fine.
You would know. You're our Witcher expert.
Well, Witcher expert as in the normie who played The Witcher 3.
Yeah, the one person of the three of us that played Witcher 3.
It's a huge game.
Anyways.
But you're right. I mean, look.
Just because it's an RPG that doesn't let you customize your character doesn't mean it's flawed.
You can just put like armor on and that's it.
I mean, you could say, you're gonna get mad at me because I'm bringing it up again. But I mean, just look at God of War, how successful that game was, and it has very, very, very light open world mechanics. It's not a huge map. The only reason it's not even an open world game. You can just go to different realms and do some things there, but it has very, very light RPG elements. But yeah, it's a straightforward game. You upgrade your armor.
Or look at Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Are you saying? Well, that's just too much.
But it still has RPG elements.
But
It's an RPG.
that is an open world RPG. I was saying more of straightforward RPG where there's no, like you were saying earlier, where it's not flawed because you jump around from city to city. Quite frankly, I'm sick of open world games, and I love the idea of a linear game. It seems like there's the way that people act is like there's only two genres that are big right now, and that's battle royale and open world. And I want to see more of linear single player focused games. And this is what's funny to me is if that's the case, this has to me seem like this is completely Respawn's choice if it is a straightforward game, because EA is going to want an open world game. It's going to want have a game. They say no microtransactions. I don't trust EA, and I think there will be microtransactions because you're seeing it creep into single player games now, especially with Ubisoft. Far Cry New Dawn was almost predatory on how they did microtransactions. It was in your face all the time. Odyssey doesn't really do that, but I've heard that because of the grindiness of it, if you buy the XP boost that like permanently gives you double the XP that you would normally get, it makes the game better. The game plays better because you're actually feels like you're progressing more. And still, I could see EA pulling that kind of bullshit.
Such is their prerogative.
I agree, it's their choice, it's their product, but I think that if for it to succeed, they have to let Respawn make the game they want, and I think it'd be better off being a single player or a single linear experience rather than an open world game.
See, but more than anything else, EA is on thin ice with Disney as it is. I mean, they've done a hell of a job fucking up.
Yeah. However, I have heard that Battlefront 2 is a much better game now. But, I mean, that's almost 2 years after the game came out.
Well, so is No Man's Sky.
Right, exactly. Like, who's really still cares and still playing this game?
Moral of the story, don't botch the launch.
Moral of the story is give us a complete game, goddammit.
And stop trying to gyp people and make a pay-to-win game. It's just not going to work. So, do we think that they're going to hit their November 15th release date?
Yeah. We've been talking about...
I'd say it's probable.
Haven't we been talking about the rumored Respawn Star Wars game for months now?
I'm wondering, because I know that they said Respawn has been working on it because they talked about it last year at E3, and I think it's been a couple of years they've been talking about it. I wonder how much of Visceral's game could be in this. I'm wondering if they canceled Visceral's game, closed down that studio, and maybe put those assets in this and consolidated efforts to make this. I don't know.
Who knows?
Honestly, I'd say the biggest crime in all this is whether or not they make a good game or a bad game. Don't make a middle of the road game.
Yeah, this has to be a.
Look at Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, I mean, people talked about that for about a week or two, and now nobody cares.
And that was hyped to hell.
You know, it's funny. I have 2 friends that actually grew up on that series, love that series, and played it. And I asked them what they thought about it, and they're just like, "Kind of sucks." They're like, "It's kind of bland. It's kind of whatever." And I'm just like, "Well, I'm glad I avoided that." Plus, I didn't really care. I was like, Disney characters or Final Fantasy? This seems stupid. I don't want to play this. So you think it's going to hit November 15th, Spark?
I'd say it's probable.
I don't think they would have shown it at Star Wars Celebration and had all this hype behind it at Star Wars Celebration if it wasn't ready. Because by the time this episode posts, we'll be exactly 7 months out from release. And I think they'll hit it. I think they'll be fine.
I mean, one way or the other, I won't care.
What were we saying, Chance?
Oh, well, Sparks is going to launch into not caring because of Borderlands 3. But I was about to say, I think this is a good precedent to set as far as, like, announcing games goes. Because, like, the game was rumored for a while, mind you. But they never really announced it and then gave a trailer 7 months before launch. None of this... what was that? Was that a Duke Nukem game that didn't come out 10 years until after it was launched?
Yeah, Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, like, no, everyone is sick of that shit. When your game's ready, then you announce it. Mm-hmm. And I like that. Yeah, I like what they're doing.
I've said that for years when that's how Bethesda launched Fallout 4, and that's how games should be made now. It's like, here's a trailer, this is what it's going to be. We might have something at E3, although EA is not going to be at E3. So, yeah, here it is. See you in 7 months.
Yeah, but isn't the back end of that what they did with 76?
Well, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about Fallout 76 later. I don't want to, but it plays into the main topic of the show. Any final thoughts for Star Wars Fallen Jedi Order?
Can't wait for the Jar Jar DLC.
That's a good question.
Sith Lord Jar Jar?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, it'd be pretty funny. I'd be into it.
Darth Jar Jar.